Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarot Tuesday live stream with me, Thea Stone. This is a live stream for Taurus season. I've pretty much decided that I'm going to do the live stream once a month and do it on the week where we change astrological sign and base the general collective readings on what we need to know for that season, and then do readings for anybody who comes into the chat along the way. So I did do a weekly reading. I do them on Rumble, and I've had some issues with Rumble. They have not been encoding the videos and it hasn't gotten up. I'm going to give it overnight, and if they haven't resolved themselves, then I think I'm going to start putting them up on YouTube as a sort of backup alternative platform. I had been putting them up on the Hive as well, but I've just been not resonating and feeling like I had some issues with them as well, and they were really slowing down my day. And so I feel like I'm not doing the weekly readings on there anymore. I'll probably keep doing the replay of the live streams where I do a blog post, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a zodiac spread for Taurus season. So that will be with the Rider-Waite. Then I'm going to do a chakra reading, and I'll see which oracle deck calls to me for that in a moment. And in between the readings, if there's anybody in the chat who has asked for a reading, then I will do a reading for you. And then at the end, I'll also open it up. So if I'm in the middle of one of the big spreads, then please just stick around, and I will get to you when there's a break. And if I see people chatting, I'll bring the chat overlay up so that you can see what's going on. So let's see. Was there any other announcements? Oh yes, I'm going to be traveling in May, so I'm not doing any weekly readings, and I'm going to see if I can do a live stream in May whilst I'm in the UK. But if I do, it won't be on a Tuesday because I've got too many things lined up on Tuesdays whilst I'm away. So it'll be a sort of special, and we'll see how that goes. But I will announce it on social media if that's what I'm going to do, and I'll try and give you some heads up because it won't be on the Tuesday. But if nothing else, even if I can't do anything in May, I will be back in June. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking that on the day that I do a live stream, since I'm now thinking of doing it monthly, that I might make the weekly reading part of the live stream, because I'm finding doing both a video and a live stream on the same day takes quite a lot of time. And if there's any technical issues like I had today, it just eats up the whole day, and they get squished together. And I think that there's also the possibility that people get confused that there's two different kinds of shows, so to speak. So I'm thinking that in June, what I would do is I would just do the general weekly reading where I take one oracle card and two tarot cards at the very start of this, and then do the other two big spreads. So that's what I'm kind of thinking going forward from June, but we'll see how things go. So I guess we can get started then. So I'll just see if there's anything I should be putting up on the screen for you guys. So if you're wanting to find out more about who I am on my website, you can go to this website here, choosetoplaybig.com. And I do readings and stuff like that. And there's some content up there, and you've got all the information about the shows. If you ever want to know when the next show is scheduled and all of that, then all the information is there, and the links as well. And then let's see. So we're going to go into a zodiac spread now for Taurus season, which is going to be coming up in a few days. And yeah, so I'm going to just move these out the way. I think I'll move this out the way for now. All right. So like a collective reading for what we all need to know during Taurus season. I'm going to shuffle these back in, but these two just jumped out. So we may have a little bit of difficulty. It might be a little bit of a hard time, but let's see what the rest of the spread says. Okay. The cards have been really jumping today when I've been shuffling, so they've been really wanting to speak. All right, so I'm going to lay them out here. It's not going to be the best view, but when I talk about the cards, I'll show them to you so you can see them better. So let's see. So we need to go over here. Mm-hmm. Okay, those two cards that fell out have just shown up. So that's interesting. So they really wanted to speak in this reading, and that's really interesting. Okay, so right off the bat, I see we got 3 aces. So a lot of new beginnings. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off for a second, so maybe we can see this a little better. And I'm just going to also put up the tip jar. So if you like what you see at any point, you can follow that QR code and you can give me a tip. You don't have to, but you're always welcome. So I'm going to start here with the House of Aries, the first house. So I'm just going to bring this up to remind me. So this is going to be about our sense of self, how we present ourselves to the world, our identity. It's also about beginnings. And we have the Page of Swords. So, and then this is aspected by the Ace of Swords. So we've got 2 swords here. So it's feeling like maybe we're turning a bit of a new leaf in terms of how we think about ourselves, and also how we think about ourselves in relation to others. Perhaps we've been doing some deep thinking about what it is that how we want to show up in the world, how we want to present ourselves in the world, who we feel we are. And maybe this is starting to actually show itself, perhaps settle in, perhaps become a little bit more embodied. I'm thinking that maybe there's going to be something that maybe either you speak about, or something something that comes to your attention that perhaps is new, and you might be integrating like new aspects of yourself, and this will be more mental, in a more mental way. So maybe you're doing a lot of reviewing, reflecting on how you show up. And this can also be about, because this is a House of Aries, so it's very much about action. So it's almost like because we're coming to the end of Aries season. This is a spread for Taurus season. So it's like the seeds have been planted and now they're starting to grow. It's at a very beginning stage, and perhaps there's been a little bit of a change in the winds, a bit of a pivot that has meant that what you thought maybe at the beginning of Aries season that you might be doing has changed and will change in the course of this month. Perhaps something new has come to the fore, which has meant that you've had to change direction a little bit. Or has helped you clarify the direction that you're going. But they're still in early stages and it's starting to progress. But definitely we've got new things on the horizon. I think it's looking at the cards we have here, that it's almost like slow and steady progress forward. And there will be physical results. You may even see some kind of gift or offer your way in order to help you along the path. So look out for opportunities that support what it is that you want to either want to be doing or how you want to show up in the world. Perhaps you're turning over a new leaf and you don't want to be a certain way anymore. You do want to be a certain way going forward. So it requires some prudence and some perseverance, but you've started the journey on that. So that's the House of Aries. Then we have the House of Taurus. So this is the Taurus season that we're in. So this is particularly pertinent. And then so we've got the Knight of Pentacles. And this is the house of finances, of values, what it is that we value in the world. It can be our income, it can be our possessions, it can be physical things, physical material possessions, or your physical world that you're participating in. And this is being aspected by the Nine of Wands. So I feel that there is something where we are being cautious. We've had to be really cautious because something has been really difficult. And perhaps this is to do with the fact that, our financial situation in the world is not so great right now. We're seeing high inflation. We're seeing businesses where people are losing their jobs, big businesses where they're cutting lots of jobs. We're seeing pension issues. We're seeing stock market fluctuations. So perhaps right now it's like because the situation is really hard, and perhaps some of us are really like struggling and holding on, that we're being asked in this month to play on the safe side and watch and see how things pan out. It's looking with the cards that are the other cards that are around it, that this will work in our benefit in the end run. There's a potential for either generosity or unexpected opportunities or wealth to come our way, or ways of making wealth. But it's almost like we're in a really hard point, and this is a 9. So we're almost at the end of this tough period that's causing us to be a little cautious on things. But we're just needing to hold on a little longer. It's not quite there yet, even though it may be really, really tough. However, if I look at the cards around Taurus, so we've got the King of Pentacles. This is usually a very benevolent, generous card, among other things. And it's also the King of Pentacles, which is like usually if you're looking at a process or something going on, it's like when something has completed, has been mastered. So there is a feeling here that there is something that's going to break through, something that's going to be most likely positive regarding this. But right now we are having to sort of like just grit and bear it and make our way through. Now, this could not be about finances for you. It could be something else. It can also be about health. Pentacles can be about health as well, your physical health. So we've got pentacles all around the knight here. So it could be that maybe you're dealing with health issues and you're really struggling with that. And then you're maybe going to see some kind of improvement there or breakthrough. So yeah, that feels like we need to be a little prudent and cautious and really evaluate a situation before we step into it when it comes to these kind of matters. It could be, if you're dealing with a health thing, that not to rush into maybe treatments. It could be that you need to evaluate whether this is really right for you or something like that. Maybe there's going to be another alternative or another option, maybe getting a second opinion, things like that. So it could be that you're dealing with that. So the next card is the King of Pentacles, and it is being opposed by or aspected by the Five of Wands. So this is in the house of Gemini, and Gemini is about the mind, how we communicate, how we think, how we visualize, how we perceive things. And we have the King of Pentacles, which is usually quite a positive card, and it's well aspected. However, it is being aspected by the Five. So we might be seeing in aspects of our wealth, our health, our physical world, and our life, some minor setbacks, perhaps disagreements, perhaps some confusion, but it's not going to last forever. It's like a little bump in the road, and it will pass. But when it does pass, you should be in a really good position. You may have a fresh start or a new source of income or improvement in your health or your physical life. But when it comes to the mind, it could be to do with mental health. So it could be that perhaps there has been some kind of struggle in our mental health, or our struggle in perceiving things in a positive way. But this is going to be minor. So we may have had something that throws us mentally or causes us to perceive things in a not so positive way, but that's not going to last for very long. This card, although it can be about being prepared to take action or fight for what you need, you're sitting in a comfortable position that's well earned. So it feels like the setback you might be having is something that may throw you mentally, and or may affect your attitude on life, but it's going to be minor, and it feels like it's something that's going to help teach you or expand you to help you grow into a much more positive mindset and outlook on life. Okay, so the next card is the fourth house, which is the house of Cancer. We've got the Ace of Cups. So this is about the home where we're rooted. It can be about family. It can be about self-care, the fundamentals in life. And we've got the Ace of Cups, which is incredibly positive. So this is about fulfillment. This is about our heart, our creative force. It's also an ace, so we're talking about something new. So almost like maybe we've got a fresh start on something that is to do with either our family or the way we take care of ourselves. So perhaps we're having a better attitude about our self-care, our families, and what we consider our home. So maybe we're feeling like we're renewed in our home. But interestingly enough, we are aspected by the Magician. So this is a positive aspect with the Magician because we've got the Ace of Cups. So this could be about manifesting our heart's desires. This could be about tapping into our magic and bringing forth what it is that we really want to create in the world. So it could be we're getting more creative, or we're feeling more rooted in creative activities or things that our heart feels really drawn towards. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna move on to the next one. So we've now got the House of Leo. And this is represented by the Eight of Cups. So Leo, the House of Leo is about romance, love, creativity, fertility, self-expression. It can even be about drama. And this is represented by the Eight of Cups. So this is often when we're either walking away from something's missing, and we're going in search for that, or we are retreating inwards in order to find what it is that's missing. So there's something. It could be that our creative juices are, perhaps there's either going to be people walking away from relationships as well, or needing a break. There could be maybe with creative projects, this is going to be a time to assess, is this something I really need to put my energy into now? Do I need a break from it? Do I need to do some self-care in order to be ready to do something? It could also be that there's some stuff going on in your life that is causing you to prioritize where you put your energy. And there are some things, perhaps even the creative things, that you need to step away from or reassess and find out what is it that's not working here, that needs to be rethought. Because sometimes when we're doing something creative, we get a block, or we get to a point where it's like something's not working here, or we just need to step away from it. And this could also apply for relationships too. So any kind of relationship, perhaps there is something where it's like, I need to just take a moment to myself to evaluate what's going on here that's either not working or is missing or needs to be looked at anew. And this is being aspected by the Four of Pentacles. It makes me feel like there is something we're waiting for. We're feeling like there's something missing and we're waiting for it. And perhaps whilst we're waiting for something to come forth, we just need to step away until it becomes clear. This also feels, because we're talking about the House of Leo, that this could be about untapped gifts or not using your gifts properly. So it could be that it could be a couple of things. It could be that we're needing to step away to be able to gather ourselves enough so that we can step into our gifts, or we're feeling an urge to walk away from something that we actually have, where we do have a gift, where we do have a talent, where we may be being called into service. But maybe we're struggling with it. Maybe it's feeling a bit overwhelming, or maybe it's not quite the right time for it to be brought forward. So there seems like there's some kind of tension there in terms of either not being willing to step up to the plate or it not being the right time for you to do so. And this could also apply to relationships because it could be that you're holding back on something that you that either needs to be raised or it's just not the right time. Perhaps you're having to bite your tongue on something because it's not the right time. And so I think you need to be mindful of that just to make sure that you're not, there's something coming through. What is it? You're acting in the right time and you're gathering your strength when it feels the right time to do so. There's something else. What is it? Perhaps this is something about walking away from drama and and almost not feeding it. Maybe there's a situation where there is some drama in your life, perhaps in a relationship or a situation like at work or whatever the case may be. And maybe this is a time where it's not the right time to address it. But in order to sort of wait, hold back, you need to sort of like have some time either alone or to self-reflect, to self-care, in order to handle what it is that you're dealing with, until it is the right time to handle it. So we may be in a situation where we're feeling the tension, we're feeling the drama, but it's not possible to act on it yet. So yeah, something like that. All right. And the reason I say the drama, because the next card we have, which is for the House of Virgo, is the Seven of Cups. And can be about dysfunction. It can be about smoke and mirrors, things appearing one way and actually being another. It can, again, we have the turn back as well. So it's like we're turning our back on something. Maybe we're stepping away from things that are not aligned in resonance. Now, this is the House of Virgo. So this is about daily routines. So yeah, this could be something where it's either with our family or it's with our colleagues or something which we're seeing people as part of our everyday lives. It can also be about our priorities, taking because Virgo is very detail oriented, very analytical. It can also be about health. So maybe we're seeing some dysfunction about health. Maybe there is some, because health came up again. So health. So Virgo is being aspected by the Ace, which is interesting because that can also be about health. So maybe we're going to see something where we get a new perspective on our health, or the way in which we're conducting our everyday things. So it's like, yeah. So we got two aces connected to. So it's like there's something new that's about to come forward, either a fresh leaf or a new beginning of something that is both physical and mental in its nature, and it's going to be connected to something that is currently dysfunctional. So maybe something that has a bit of drama to it, or has a bit of misalignment to it, is actually going to start to be course corrected. And there's going to be an opportunity to set that on a new path, or set yourselves on a new path away from that, because we're talking about walking away from this. So yeah, so I think be very mindful of places where you're finding a misalignment, either with the people that you're hanging out with, or where you're working, or community groups and stuff, and actually think about where you're putting your energy. Because I feel that Pentacles can also be about your physical energy, where you're putting that, because we have a finite amount of it. And it's almost like we're being asked to be willing to go in a new direction and willing to walk away from someone or something if it's not aligned, if it's causing drama. And this can be in our everyday life. It could be with our health as well. So if you're taking a treatment, or if you are taking a course of action like a lifestyle change, and it's causing a lot of friction, or it seems it's presented as one thing but seems in reality to do another thing for you, or you're finding that the side effects or something about it, depending on what it is causing you too much distress or issues, to be considered actually looking at it and saying, is this worth continuing with? Is this actually worth pursuing further, or is there an alternative that I can take in a new direction and that would be healthier for me? So depending on your situation, we could be dealing with something like that. Okay, so then we're now in the house of Libra. So this is relationships, and we've got the Ace of Swords. So it could be that we're starting, and we've got, this is aspected by the page again. It feels like this might be a month where either new people come into our lives, or relationships turn over a new leaf. Perhaps we think the way we think about our relationships could also be. So it could be that we considered somebody a certain way, or we put somebody in a certain box, and then we find out new information that makes us reconsider. Is this a person? Oh, maybe this is a person I can connect with more, or maybe this is a person I should connect with less. But I'm feeling more, this is a case of, because it's an ace, we've got something new coming forward, something beginning. So you may be finding that you've got some new relationships going on. Now we have the Page of Swords here, so it could also be that we're hearing things about other people, because this can be a gossip and hearsay card, but it's not particularly badly aspected. So it could be that we're changing our minds about people this month. So yeah, and it could be that that's both ways. It could be good and bad. But because this card is also aspected by the Seven of Cups, and also the Nine of Wands, it might be that places where we've maybe pushed people away, or put people in a box, or we have a strained relationship, it might be those kind of situations that are turning over a new leaf. Maybe we're going to start to think about these people in a different way. Maybe we're going to change our minds. Perhaps if you had an argument with somebody, for example, something's going to come to light that maybe is going to change your mind about them, and then maybe you're going to reach out and make amends, or discuss it, and maybe get a bit closer. That's possibility, just to start having a starting point where you might go in a new direction. So this may be an interesting month for new people, or renewal of how we think about our relationships, and that may bear more fruit as the year goes on, because we're just starting the process now. So maybe this information is going to come to light, or You're going to talk about things and something's going to click in a way that hadn't before, connecting dots or whatever the case may be. And maybe this is going to be a time where you're going to reassess maybe how you dealt with that relationship, how they dealt with you. And so there's an opportunity to actually reconnect or deepen a relationship if there's been some kind of issue. Yeah. And because we've got the 9 here, whatever the difficulty is may be very shortly coming to an end. It may not complete during this month, but it's very close. So we have now the 8th house of Scorpio, and that's represented by the 9 of Wands. So Scorpio is about, it can be about intimacy, it can be about mutual funds. So these can be things like pensions, stocks, trusts, things like that. Places where either people are pooling money together or, they're it's not like your income or something like that. Alternatives of sort of money that's sort of pooled together. That can also be about inheritances and taxes and things like that. But it can also be about your sexuality. It can be about there is a spiritual, almost dark night of the soul aspect to Scorpio as well. It's ruled by Pluto, so that Pluto is very much about death and rebirth, for example. So something ending, and we're very close to an end here, and it's opposed by the Knight of Pentacles. And so I'm feeling like, again, this is to do with our financial situation or our wealth or our physical possessions. But in this case, it's much more likely to be about things that are like our pensions, our inheritances. So I feel this is more financial again, or our possessions. And something really hard. Perhaps there's been some investments where you've hit hard because of the way the stock market went, or maybe pensions have been hit hard and a lot of people's pensions are much lower, or the retirement age is rising and all kinds of things are changing. So things like that, again, feel like they're tough. And it's like this card is very much like bravely facing a really difficult situation, and you're almost on your last legs. It's almost too much, but you've just got a little bit of oomph in you. It's like there is where your concerns are. It's a struggle. However this sort of affects you, the concerns you may have around it, they're going to still be hit this month, but we're being asked to just again be cautious. So if you've got a decision to make that relates to this, either just wait it out and see when you've got, maybe there's a bit more information, perhaps when this comes to an end. If you can, take more time to consider the situation, then maybe do. But if you can't, play it on the safer side of things. Yeah. And there may be some kind of minor setbacks around this or some difficulties around this, but it could be that some information is going to come out that will maybe help any decision making a little easier, but you just need to sort of hang in there a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so the next house is the house of Sagittarius, and that's showing up as the 5 of Wands. Sagittarius is about travel. It's about our philosophies. our learning, our ethics. And right now, in those areas, we've got a little bit of a setback, but it won't last very long. This feels like, because we were talking about attitudes earlier, perhaps attitudes to other people. Like maybe we're going to be exposed to something or experience something that is going to perhaps shatter some of our illusions, or is going to make us change our mind on things. And it may be a little unsettling at first. Perhaps that will even cause a little conflict, depending on who you're talking with about it, that where it comes up in your life. Perhaps it will cause a little distress. But it's going to be minor, and you're going to get through it. So there might be something that's got to be adjusted to here in your outlook in life. It may affect your travel as well, but this feels like it's much more about how we understand life. Like something's going to shift in that regard, and it's going to pay off, because it's almost like, even though it's going to be a little bit tough. It's like we're going to reap the fruit of it for that kind of expansion in our understanding of ourselves and our world and the way we live. So something I think is going to is perhaps going to challenge you a little bit in your views, your world views, your understanding of life, but it's going to be to your benefit to do so, and probably the benefit of others actually to do so as well. So it may be that it's a little hard to digest. It may even push you to your limits, and it may mean that you have to give up some of your illusions in life, perhaps things that you hold on to get through. So it may challenge those things. You may have to cut through some of that, but it's not going to be it's not going to be for too long, and it may be that it's easier than you expect it to be to get through it, or at least the first stages of it, however it affects you. Because sometimes when we're talking about changing our outlook on something, the initial shock can, really get to us. But then once it starts to settle in and we embody it, it becomes much more easier to do the rest of the work of integrating it. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're talking about the 10th house of Capricorn, and we have the Magician. And the Magician is aspected by the Ace of Cups. And the 10th house of Capricorn is about our career, our long-term goals, structure, reputation. And when we look at this line, so we've got the Ace here, we've got the atmosphere, which I'll talk a bit more about, but this is very much the moving into calmer waters card. And then we've got the Magician. So it feels like over the course of this next year, we're getting this fresh start that's birthing now. And it's taking us into a less troubled time. And it's going to allow us to something else, just a sec. I was about to say it's going to allow us to start manifesting something new. However, we may be resistant to it. and we may suffer some setbacks along the way, because this card is coming out of troubled water, but we're not 100% there yet. We've kind of gotten past the point where the worst of it's over. You're past the point of no return, but you still got, maybe 40% of the way to go to really get to the sort of dry land where things get easier. So I feel like because there's some resistance here, it's almost like what we need to manifest over the course of this year is gonna maybe channel us a bit and ask us to tap into gifts that we're sitting on, and to work through any kind of inner conflicts that come up. So I think the direction that we're going, perhaps this is about structure actually. So it could be that, yeah, I think this is about structure, but I think this is also about long-term goals. So maybe this is about so this it's like, I think we're being asked to, with this ace, to really reflect on which direction we're going. Because if we're trying to manifest something when we're not taking into account things that we are what's the word, that we are capable of doing but are avoiding for some reason, perhaps we don't have the confidence, perhaps we don't like what that may mean, or what changes we may need to make. Perhaps we're stuck in some way emotionally in ourselves, and it requires us to make changes that seem difficult. Obviously, if you want to manifest something in terms of your career and your direction and where it is you want to go, if you're holding back on something, then that can't be part of the vision. So it's almost like we have this opportunity over this year to actually work through whatever sort of inner struggles that we have about our talents and our gifts, so that we can actually bring it into the fold of what we're manifesting, what we're going towards in this year. So we have this journey that we're on, and we have time to start unblocking ourselves so that we actually manifest what we want in terms of our direction, in terms of our career, in terms of the systems and the structures that we work within. These could be, also community-based. But yeah, so it's almost like this is a really important year for starting something new. And because of that, we need to clear the things that are stopping us from taking the most out of this opportunity. That makes sense. Okay, so we are now on the 11th house. So this is Aquarius. And so this is about groups. This is about our networks, our communities. This is about new technology, and our hopes and wishes for the future as well, and humanitarianism. So interesting. So this is aspected by the 8. So this feels like it's almost like, because I know we've just had Pluto come into Aquarius. So Aquarius is really highlighted right now. And this is about death and rebirth. And it's almost like we're on this knife edge where where something is stuck and where almost like there is this, we might be seeing the setback side, we may be seeing the death side of that. So it's almost like maybe we're going to be walking away from certain groups and communal efforts, perhaps even technologies, if, like for example, if you're really addicted to social media or something that's standing in your way, it's blocking you. So it's like, so I think we're being asked to evaluate where we're getting kind of stuck in those situations and being willing to walk away from, so that we can free ourselves up for something new. Yeah. But it could be that you need a bit of reflection time to be sure that that's the right move. But it could be this month could be what that's about. Almost like, I think in places where you're feeling like maybe drawn to walking away from something, or to sort of sitting out from something, or holding back just a little bit to see how things pan out. There may be some of that going on in our communal work, because I think we're seeing some relationship dynamics shifting and pivoting. So it could be part of this is also about, we maybe, in order to open up for the new, we actually need to be willing to walk away from that, where we're feeling blocked, where we're feeling misaligned, where the energy is not moving right, where we're not able to bring forth all of ourselves. So places where maybe we're holding back and we can't be ourselves in, perhaps we're needing to release that so that we can actually be in a place that's more aligned for us in the coming months. Yeah. And it may also apply to technology as well. It could be that there are maybe some technological things going on where it's almost like we need to give this up so something else can be coming forth. So maybe we're making decisions about how we use technology in our lives, and where we're willing to step away from them. If we're spending too much time on our devices, maybe we need, and that's eating up all our time, so that we're not putting it into, more creative endeavors or things that are more aligned with us. Then we need to consider this month where we're connecting. I think it's, with Pluto going into Aquarius, we have the death and rebirth of all of this. So we are going to be letting go of some things in order for new things to come forward. And I think that this is going to be very pertinent. So this is a time where we're being really asked to evaluate that. And if it means stepping away to reflect, then we need to do that. But really pay attention to where, when you're around people or you're using technology that makes you feel stuck, blocked, unable to be fully yourselves, distracting you from your mission or your relationships, and decide where that should really fall. And if you need to take a step away from things or limit things or reevaluate things so it has a healthier balance in your life. And also has a healthier impact on the community at large, So it could be that by stepping away from a group where you're not aligned, that the group has an easier flow of dynamic for what it is they're intending to do, and then you moving into a new space where it's aligned for you, so you end up with two better aligned energies. So it could work both ways, Okay, so then the next And the final house we got is Pisces. So this is the message from the deep unconscious. This is a deeply spiritual house. It's also about endings, closures, karmic connections. So we have the ace, which means, and it's interesting because it's being opposed by the 7. It feels like we're cutting ties with that which is dysfunctional in our lives, and our illusions. Also, perhaps our addictions, the ways in which we're hedonistic in our life, and perhaps turning our back on it. And we may be able to gift ourselves a deeper spiritual relationship. Perhaps this feels more embodied. So it feels like we are embodying, because this is physical, but the house is very spiritual. So it's like maybe we are embodying spirit more during this month, being ourselves more. And so the dramas and the illusions and the addictions and the all of that, just, it's like that's going to sort of like fade out, because it's just not who we are anymore. It's not who we're going to tolerate. We may be seeing a lot of that in the world. We may be seeing that a lot of it in our sort of lives just around us. But it's almost like we're gonna break through. We're getting an opportunity here to just cut right through it and have a healthier relationship with ourselves, with our lives, with the things in our physical life, but embodying our spiritual self more. And it's like we're cutting the karmic ties where this is playing out, and we're just starting afresh. So it's not just the ending of karma. This is actually the beginning of what comes next, now that this has been cut. So and so that, yeah, there's definitely a pivot, but yeah, and also where we've been blocked, like we're gonna have some kind of breakthrough where we're blocked as well. Perhaps changing the direction of things a little bit along the way, but this is an incredibly positive card. So healing, yeah. So there is going to be healing in regards to the things that cause us drama, to the things that where our illusions are, where our addictions are. It's like we're going to have a renewed. We're going to be renewed because this stuff is gone, or is on the way out this month. And now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the middle card, because I haven't really highlighted it, but the middle card was the 6 of Swords. Again, coming out of troubled water or coming into calmer water. This is about getting more clarity. This is about no matter where the struggle is, you're through the worst of it. And even though perhaps you've needed to let somebody else kind of take the wheel a bit, perhaps it's been so hard that you've needed to rely on someone else to sort of steer the ship a little bit for you. You're on your way, and you've got someone's got your back. And so it feels like all the work that we're doing here in terms of our relationships, in terms of our finances, in terms of cutting through our illusions, getting through our blocks, it's a real turning point. And we've got a lot of new energy here, a lot of old stuff that's been cleared. There are places where we need to be a little careful and just see how things play out. There's going to be some tough stuff going on, but the majority of this is really healthy, and I think it's gonna, it's almost like it's almost like the self-care, the self-reflection and the self-healing that we need to do so that we are in a great place to take advantage of the rest of this year. So that was the Taurus season monthly zodiac spread for everybody. So I hope that helps. And I can see we've got a little chat, so I'm going to put the overlay on. It won't show up, but hi, Ivy. Very nice to meet you. If you want a reading, you're welcome to say so. I take readings from the chat between the big spreads that I'm doing. So if you would like a general reading, like for example about career, your relationships, health, or something big like that, or you just want to see what Spirit wants to say, or if you have a question for Spirit, I can do a reading for you. You're welcome to say something in the chat and I'll do that. Otherwise, you're welcome to just hang around and see. The next big reading I'm going to do is going to be chakra reading. So we've just had the zodiac reading to see what we might expect to see coming in Taurus season over the next month, which I'll just put the dates up for you again. Where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, so we're talking, this is the period that this was for, and I'm going to do a chakra reading for that period as well to see what we can do to best navigate this season. So but if you have a question or anybody else has a question or would like a reading, pop it in the chat now whilst I'm sorting things out, and I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll take your questions after the next big spread. So it's up to you. All right. So I'm just going to take a picture for my blog, and then we'll get going. All right. Oh, and I just noticed on the route we got that, so it's a big breakthrough. All right, I'll just give this a little shuffle. All right, so I'm not seeing any more chat right now, so I am going to work on the next reading unless someone gets in really quickly, and that's going to be the chakra reading. Yeah. So for those who haven't watched the chakra reading before, this is how it works. I'm going to lay one card out for each chakra, and each chakra is going to have a crystal, and I'll show you all the crystals at the beginning, and you can see if any of the crystals sort of stand out for you, and if they do, then that reading is probably more pertinent for you. But I'll also show you all the symptoms when the chakra is blocked, so that you can actually get a sense of if that is something that you should also pay attention to. So that's how it's going to work. And I'm just going to first figure out which deck I want to use. So let's just see. It might be that one. Let's see. I think it is this one. Yeah. we're going to use the Spirit Animal Oracle deck for this one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these up for just a moment, and I'm going to just, it's the right way around, so we can do it that way around. And I'm going to ask you to just look at them, and if any of them just stands out for you, you found your eye being drawn to them, or for whatever reason one stands out, just make a note of that, and then I'll show you the crystals again as we go along, and then you can pay attention to that. So I'll just give you a moment and you can have a look and see which ones work for you. I'll try and line it up so it's straight. Okay. So just for those who don't know, the red one is for the root chakra. The orange one is sacral chakra. The yellow one is for the solar plexus. Then this sort of green one is the heart. Then we've got the throat chakra. Then we've got the third eye. And then we've got the crown chakra in the middle there. So I'm just going to shuffle and then I'll lay them out. So I'll do root to crown. And then I'll put whichever one I'm reading first on here. Actually, it's the way that way around. No. Got to turn around there. There we go. All right. So, universe, what do we as a collective need to know to best navigate Taurus season? What advice do you have for us? All right, so I'm going to put them face down to begin with. And I think we can just squeeze it in. Just move that one out of the way. Okay, so fit on online? Yeah, okay, just. All right. So I'm going to just pop on the ticker here. These are the root chakra symptoms. So if you were drawn to this red crystal or any of these symptoms along the bottom resonate with you, then this reading is for you in particular. So let's see what the card is. Okay, rabbit spirit, now is a lucky time. Wow. Okay, I've not pulled this card before. Sometimes it's hard for us to imagine that we can experience good luck. I think if we've had a lot of traumatic things in our life, or we're having a difficult period, it can be easy to imagine that luck isn't on our side. I'm getting the feeling from this card here that we're being invited to actually open ourselves to the possibility that good luck can come our way. So I think anytime that this month, because we talked in the zodiac spread, there might be some difficulties, there might be some stressful things, but I think we have to go forward with the attitude that good luck can come towards us. And it's interesting that we've got this because we just had Easter as well. And I know bunny is a sign of Easter, and it's also a sign of fertility. And in the tarot, the Ace of Cups, which is also a sign of birth. It could be a sign of childbirth, fertility, and all of that. That's also about creativity, the heart, the fulfillment, and all of this. So I'm feeling like in those areas, like we could be lucky in love, we can be lucky in our creative endeavors, where sometimes, we're quite often taught to think that our creative pursuits can't be fortunate enough to support us or to be worth putting our energy into. I think we're being asked very much to counteract the sort of, because the root chakra can be very much about our deep fears, our sense of survival, and all of that, to actually be willing to hold the energy that good fortune can come our way, and that we can give birth to something new creatively, or open up to something new in the heart that's very fulfilling. And so I feel this is very much about our attitude towards what is possible for us, and carry that, like embody that energy. That really needs to be right down in our roots. So we need to actually be able to always carry that energy with us, that I can be fortunate, good things come to me when I need them. And allow that to be what carries you forward when you have a moment where something stressful happens, or not sure how you're going to make it through, say, for example, financially in a situation. So it's necessary for us to put the energy into that rather than our fears. I'll just show you that one more time. These cards are so beautiful. All right. So I will then go on to the next one. And just grab some water. So if you were drawn to this orange crystal, or any of the symptoms along here sound familiar, then this reading is for you. Oh, another one I haven't pulled before. Rhino spirit, overcome any obstacle. Wow. I think we're being invited to remember our strength, and that we have tenacity. Very interesting for it to be paired with the rabbit spirit here. It's already getting this feeling of this reading that it's like it's going to be very much about being the kind of person, embodying the kind of person, admitting the energy of somebody who can bring good things into their lives and can get through anything. And there's nothing that's going to stand in your way. So this feels very attitudinal, but it feels like it needs to be really rooted in the body. We need to feel it, because we can agree with something in our mind, But if we're not really embodying it, or we're acting in a way that's counter to that attitude in some way, then it's like it doesn't really manifest, it doesn't really come into being, it doesn't really root itself in your life. So no matter what it is that you are facing this month, or that you want to create, the direction you want to go, as we talked about, you may face challenges, but you have it within you to overcome them. And as long as you can remind yourself of that and calm your nervous system by reminding yourself of that, because this is the chakra of creativity. It can be about sexuality, fertility as well, but it is very much about our creativity. And so whatever it is that you're pursuing, whatever it is that you want to work towards, whatever obstacle you face, go with it with the attitude that this is a test, perhaps it's going to allow you to grow and expand, but you can deal with it. And you are a rock. Be that rock for yourself. So yeah, that's what I'm getting with this one. Show you that again. So it's the sacral chakra. So the next one we got is the solar plexus. So if any of these symptoms seem familiar, or you were drawn to this yellow crystal, then this reading is particularly for you. Ooh, whale spirit, trust the great mystery. So the solar plexus is very much about our personal power, our willpower, almost our ability to manifest or to make something happen, and trusting the great mystery. It's feeling like it's okay if to bring our spiritual side into that process. It's also feeling like it's okay if we don't know every step along the way in order to make what we want happen. Trusting that as long as we have the focus of where we want to go, and the willingness to do what it takes, that Spirit's got our back in making sure that we'll get there one way or another. And this is interesting because this is also a water animal. So water is about emotion, it's about the heart, it's about creativity again. But this feels like when we are being challenged in obstacles, and perhaps when emotionally we might be triggered, that's maybe where we need to put our faith in there's something more that's got our back, because we can make something happen with our willpower, but it's not just our will. There's divine will involved as well. And so for allowing that to work through you this month in particular, because again, I'm feeling these very much connected to the zodiac spread, so that we're going to be maybe facing some challenges, maybe letting go of illusions, reassessing relationships. So there's a lot of dynamic change and new things coming through, and we may not understand it all. We may not be able to make sense of it all, but we need to trust that there is a reason for it. And when it's necessary for us to put our willpower into something, because we may be tested a bit this month, so we may need to really sort of dig deep in ourselves but to know that, when we do that, Spirit also has our back. I had someone say, and it was a good reminder for me this week, God likes a trier. So if you are trying, you're putting effort into something, then it's like, then Spirit meets you at the same time. You can't just sit back and expect things to come your way. But if you're making the effort towards something that is aligned, then Spirit will also meet you halfway in the process. So the next one, there might be something more there. If it comes to me, I'll say. But the next one is heart chakra. So if any of these symptoms look familiar, or you were drawn to this light green crystal, then this message is for you. Wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. Now, I've had this one before. Here we go. So it may be our heart is a little troubled this month, or surprised by something unexpected happens, or something difficult happens. And this could particularly relate to relationships, but it could also be about our passions and the things that we love and the things that we want to do and things like that. It's feeling like maybe we are going to be having a bit of a flux. So we're going to be able to roll with the punches, as well as keeping ourselves open to good fortune coming our way. Because sometimes when life stings and we have to deal with something that's a bit ouchy, our tendency can be to believe that, we're down on our luck and all of that kind of things. So it's almost like there's a dichotomy here. There's like a need to be able to stay positive, even if we're taking a few knocks, because we're capable of moving through it, and Spirit is certainly capable of having our back through this. And even though we might face some challenges, or we might have something that surprises us that really hurts, a bit of a gut, well, not a gut punch, a bit of a heart punch or something, or something that, the heart is having to process, that hurts a bit. I think we need to remember that life is, it's not a stationary thing. It's an up and down process. I've just recently written a song called Roller Coaster about that, and I think sometimes it's like we're so wanting to avoid pain that we forget sometimes it's necessary. It's part of the process of change and opening up to new things, because we're letting go of old things. And I think that's also why we're being asked to trust the great mystery, because sometimes it's very easy to lose hope or to lose faith when things are difficult. So we're being reminded that that even though we may face good and bad this month, it may be a fluctuation of things. It's all necessary and it's all part of the picture. And to take care of yourself in a way that allows you to not get so overwhelmed by it that you forget these other things that we've talked about here already. To give yourself space to heal or to process. Perhaps, like we had in the zodiac, stepping away from a moment to reflect. and just allowing that to be part of the process without getting so caught up in it that we forget that good things can follow. So, and allowing it whatever time it needs, because sometimes we're in pain, we're impatient, and we just want it over with, and we just think um, we've done enough, and so sometimes we just need to just give it the time it needs so that it doesn't have to come back. You can just really process it and let it go. So the next one is the throat chakra. So it's really about acceptance, this card. Yeah, really about acceptance. Radical acceptance, maybe as well. So throat chakra. So if any of these symptoms sound familiar, or you were drawn to this blue crystal, then this one's for you. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we got koi fish spirit. There is always enough. I think we've had this one before. Have we had this before for the throat chakra? I'm pretty sure we've had this one before for one of the higher chakras in one of the other previous readings. Yeah, I have a feeling it was for the throat chakra before, but I'm gonna because I'm feeling the same vibe in terms of what I should say, but when it comes to what we vocalize, what we say, I think we're being asked to be wary of talking about scarcity and lack, and try and come from a place of abundance. Because we put our energy, our voice and our words are so powerful. They are literally spell casting. So when we put our energy into talking about how things are bad or how we don't have something, like for example, if we don't have enough money or we don't have something we need in order to do something that we love to do, or whatever the case may be, then that's what we're putting our energy into, and that's what we are spell casting into the world. So I think we need to be really mindful of how we're speaking. And if we can, speak from a place of abundance, speak from a place of trust in knowing that what you need is going to come forward. Because sometimes, and I think this can also be about perhaps our self-confidence as well, actually, I'm getting. So it could be that the way we speak, if we undermine ourselves in terms of like, oh, I'm not capable of this, or something like that, then rather than that also remembering that you are capable of all the things that you need to do, and your willingness to speak as if that's the case will allow you to actually step more into that side of yourself that can do that. So I'm feeling that abundance in how you talk about yourself and your abilities, that's the key, is really important this month. So we need to not fake it till you make it. Trust that there is a side of you that can do that, and talk as if that's the case, and talk as if you will receive the abundance you need when you need it. Sometimes it's like I'll go, well, next time abundance flows to me a little more freely, I will do this, something like that, rather than I don't have the money to do this yet, maybe next month, I'm not sure yet. Things are a bit tight. So that kind of language then creates a different kind of sense of energy around you, and also in the people you're speaking to, and that can sort of spread into the reality. So we're being asked to speak as if we are abundant. I think this is also related to the rabbit spirit, which was now is a lucky time. So I think the combination of those two, if we're able to verbalize things, if we are fortunate, as if we are abundant, it's going to strengthen this embodiment that I was talking about earlier, about we could be fortunate. So the root and the throat chakra here, I think, can work very well together. So doing those work together would be, I think, really enhancing one another. So so you could also talk about yourself in a fortunate way, like your the things you need come to you when they come to you. And maybe even talking about the times when you were lucky more than you were talking about the times you were unlucky. Talking about the times when you were abundant rather than the times where you were in lack. Talking about the times where you were able to do something as opposed to not able to do something. So I think those things are going to be really important in terms of working with the throat chakra this month. Okay. So the next one we got is the third eye. So if any of these symptoms sound familiar, or you were drawn to this kind of gray crystal, this reading is in for you. So we've got crow spirit, co-create with spirit. And my cat is really scratching at the door, so I think he agrees with this one. So this is the third eye. So this is about working with the flow of spirit rather than against it. This is about whenever you decide you're going to do something, perhaps invoking spirit and bringing it in, or asking for assistance from spirit. You don't have to do it all alone. We've all got so much spiritual backing by spirit guides, by the great spirit gods, whatever you want to call it, the universe, our ancestors. We have a lot that we can call on in order to, in this case, because it's the third eye, this is about our connection sort of intuitively and psychically, but particularly on this plane, so between ourselves. So I think we would really need to start tuning into the third eye, perhaps meditating on it. Would be useful if we're actually going to do any of this work that we've been talking about before in terms of working with abundance. We can overcome every obstacle. We are lucky, and even dealing with the sting. Because when we're in touch with our third eye and our crown as well, it can sometimes help us navigate and understand better why some things happen that would otherwise throw us a little more. So maybe, this could be about working with intention. It could be about working with prayer. It could be about working to look inwards to your inner guidance to find out why did this happen this way, or to call in help where we need to work on these other things like abundance or overcoming obstacles or believing that we're lucky or any of these things. So perhaps where we're being tested this month, it's going to be a really good month that we can work with. We can work with spirit to navigate it and overcome it, and to tap into that inner wisdom that's there and waiting for us. And so working with the third eye and connecting with spirit and co-creating with spirit makes a lot of sense. And we've got a bird here, so this is air energy, which also makes sense. This is a higher chakra. And I know that ravens can be very healing. I'm not quite sure if that also applies to other COVIDs. I can't remember the right way to say it now, but the family of birds. I think it's corvids, but it's this. So we've got air energy. So this is mental energy. So it's important to use our thoughts, the way we perceive things, um, using our thoughts in particular, and perhaps our words as well, because we've just been talking about that, to set our intentions with spirit, asking spirit to sort of like add its power into the mix, or to work with you, perhaps even to inspire you in terms of what to intend, what to try to manifest, what to try and work on, what you're picking up from other people and yourself. So I think it's going to be a very powerful month for working with spirit in the sort of intuitive, and if you're a psychic as well, ability. We all have some of that to one degree or another. Some people are completely switched off, but the potential is there. But no matter where you are on that spectrum, it's going to be a good month to work with spirit. So even if you just have to open to the idea that spirit could work with you every time you're creating, just being conscious of the fact that spirit could come in and just notice if there are a little sort of synchronicities that come your way, little coincidences that relate to what it is that you're trying to either manifest or that you're intending, you're trying to create, because spirit speaks to us in many different ways. It could be seeing the same thing multiple times in the day that you normally would never see, or repeated numbers, repeated words, people talking about, hearing about something that you've never heard about all in one day, different people from different sources. Things will come to you some way, and spirit, that could be a message from spirit, trying to give you some information to what it is that you want to create, or what it is you want to learn so that you can create. So yeah, just being very open to seeing messages, either internally or reflected externally, which is just a reflection of the internal, where spirit is trying to get your attention, to help you navigate closer to what it is you want to create. So paying special attention to that. Particularly if things like thoughts pop in your head, or you get an image, or you suddenly have a new insight into something, pay particular attention to those. So the last one is the crown chakra. And if any of these symptoms sound familiar, or this amethyst crystal stuck out for you, then this reading is particularly for you. Chameleon spirit. I haven't had this one before. Act as if. Now this is the fake it till you make it card. Absolutely. So this really feels like this whole reading is about our attitude and our faith, in order to manifest and navigate what we're going to go through during Taurus season. So the crown chakra is like our direct connection to source. This is like where we have our direct connection, where we will channel through. And in order to work through any imbalances there, or if you just got drawn to the crystal, put yourself in the position, assume the position. So if you want to be someone who does a certain thing, or feels a certain way, or overcomes this particular habit of yours, act and feel from that place. What does it feel like? What would it feel like to be a person who does this, or has overcome this, or is capable of this? What does it feel like? What would that person do? How would they act? What would they say, if they were in a position where they were confident in this aspect of their ability, or they were confident that they could manifest, or they were what they needed, that they had plenty of abundance, luck could come to them, how would you act? So if we take, for example, that now is a lucky time, or there is always enough. So if you're wanting to embody somebody who is fortunate, somebody who is abundant, how would they act? How would they think? How would they feel? Put yourself in a position as if that is true, and it will become true. And not only that, you'll increase your connection to the Great Spirit Source, whatever the case may be. And as you are doing so and taking action in that sense of act as an if, then it can back you up even more. So really feels like the way that we approach life, the way we our attitude towards this month, towards Taurus season, is going to be absolutely key. Absolutely key. And the way that we act from that place, whether it's the way that we feel, the way that we there's a way that we talk, whether it's what we do, and also how we choose to feel. That's not necessarily meaning ignore things that come up. You know, sometimes we have stuff that has to be processed, and we have to do shadow work and all of that. But if we are, the majority of the time, or when we're having issues, being willing to actually put ourselves in the position of somebody who has overcome, who has abundance, who has whatever it is, who is this, who is courageous, who is whatever the situation is for you, then that's going to be absolutely key. And it's almost like I'm getting this sense of a perpetual feedback loop. So by putting ourselves in the right attitude and embodying this idea and acting as if we are confident, that we are abundant, that we are fortunate, and so on, then we're putting ourselves in a position for spirit to back us. Then this gives us the synchronicities and the support that we need to actually feel more confident about that, and then we act more from that place, and then spirit helps us more. And I think it's just, you know, it just gets more powerful, more strengthening in terms of your faith, in terms of your ability to navigate this, in terms of ability for spirit to co-create with you and to back you up. So yeah, our attitude and our faith is going to be huge this month. So that is the chakra reading for this month, for the Taurus season. So I see we haven't had any chat, so I am gonna open up now. If anybody wants a personal reading, then just say so in the chat. You can ask for just a general reading, see if spirit has anything in particular to say to you, or you can ask, for a general reading about your relationships, your career, or your path in life, or your health perhaps, or any of those sort of big topics. Or if you've got a specific question you would like to ask spirit, then just pop it in the chat and I will do a reading for you. I'm going to just take a moment to pop this all away. If I don't see any requests in the chat, then I will there was one. Oh, hello, Katrina. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Katrina Presser. Hello from the UK. I'm actually going to be going to the UK next month, so I'm from there. And you would love a reading. Okay, cool. So is there a particular aspect you'd like a reading on, like say relationships, or your career, path in life, or health, or perhaps you've got a question? So I'm going to Hertfordshire to see some family. So yeah, I lived there a while ago, but I haven't gone back in a while. So yeah, that's where I'm going. So yeah, if there's something sort of more specific that you would like with a reading, I'd like to know the girl would like to speak. Okay, so you have a specific question. Okay, so just give me a moment. I'm going to just take a picture of this, and I'm going to clear up, and I'll give you a reading. So just 1 second. All right. This one takes a little while to put everything away. All right. Oh, and hi, neighbor. And you would like a reading too? Okay, so I'll do Katrina, and then I'll do neighbor. So if neighbor, you have something to help narrow down where you would like the reading, then feel free to pop it in the chat, like what kind of area you'd like the reading on, or if you just want something general to see what spirit has to say, then let me know. And then I'll get to you after Katrina. Okay, so you would like to know if a girl at work likes you. So I'm just going to take the captions off 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so we've got some relationship questions. Okay, it's interesting because the zodiac spread that I did cover some things about relationships. So if you didn't watch it at the beginning, watch the replay. There's a bit of information about that coming up for this next month. So okay, so I'm gonna just tune into Katrina and then see. So I'd like to know if a girl would like to see it. Okay. And if you can just think of the girl that you're thinking about, that you're talking about. And I just have to shuffle until I get a signal to stop. So sometimes it takes a while. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that card really wanted to jump out. I'm just going to see if it says. Okay, so this just jumped out. And I quite often use that as a soft yes. So it's a yes, but there's maybe more to it. But we'll see what the full reading says. Okay. I think I may have gone past it and then I have to come back again. Is that it? Almost. Okay, all right. Okay, 4. All right. Okay, I'll just put this way. I'll show the cards so that you can see it a bit better. All right. So you're showing up as the 6 of Pentacles, And this can be a card about giving, being very sort of fair. It's almost like balancing the scales. So it can be about, I guess in a relationship, it could be somebody who, or some kind of connection with somebody who will try and be quite fair with people and maybe try to balance things out. And then the girl that you're talking about showing up as the 10 of Pentacles. So this perhaps is somebody who is very community oriented and maybe has a lot of connections. Again, this could actually also reflect to the work. Perhaps they're the kind of person that has will connect to a lot of people. And I'm just trying to feel into it here. So the atmosphere between you is the Eight of Swords. So this is a stuck energy. This is like something's a bit blocked, perhaps between you, or something's like unclear. Because if you see her eyes are blindfolded, so it's like maybe there's something that like a blind spot, like not able to feel out what's really going on there. Maybe it's to do with the uncertainty about the liking, right? So now the outcome, I feel like I'm going to have to dig more into this already, but we've got the Tower. Now the Tower is, it can be about shocking revelations. So maybe there's something about this person that may surprise you, and it may put you a little on the fence, but there is a very nurturing side about this person. Yeah, very loving, nurturing side about this person, but then there's something, maybe I feel like there's something surprising, perhaps either that she's going to say, because we've got swords here, something that's maybe just going to put things a little on pause. But the cards want you to know that she's coming from a loving place. But I'm going to dig some more. But actually, before I get there, the underlying influence we've got is the Wheel of Fortune. Again, something very unexpected, perhaps has already happened in the past or is underlying this whole reading. And this can be about like a U-turn, like something that's caused a bit of a U-turn or an unexpected, like a curveball in the situation. This could explain why maybe you're not quite certain where you stand in this relationship, this connection with this person. Now you've got 3 major arcanas here. So it feels like there's, whatever this connection is with this person, that there's something playing out on a longer period of time, because major arcanas tend to happen over at least a year. So but I'm going to dig further. I'm just going to check the chat and make sure I haven't missed something that would make sense. So let's have a look. Yeah, I'm very supportive towards it. That's true. There would be consequences. Yeah, maybe that's what this is about, the Tower, because it can be about shaking things up, like rocking the boat. And then we have this 2. The 2 can be about, it can be, if you're looking for a yes or no answer, for example, it could be a no, but it's also about waiting on the fence for a third way. So maybe there is going to be, maybe there's a different way that you can like approach this. So maybe it may not have exactly the dynamic that you would want, but there's still the possibility for some kind of connection there, even if it's not exactly the way you want, because there's definitely a very positive energy from this person, but maybe there is consequences. But I'm going to dig a little deeper just to see if there's a little bit more that we could see about this. Okay, so we got the page. Okay, so that's very interesting. So we have the page. So again, I think you have potentially a soul connection. Perhaps you recognize her from another lifetime, so there's something deep there. But because of the actual situation, perhaps it's not possible for, because there's something that's kind of like preventing perhaps exactly what you would prefer. But there's definitely some kind of connection between the two of you. Yeah, I'll see if it could also be, this card can also be about soul contracts. So it could be that you agreed to come into one other's life at this time in order to provide some kind of role, whatever that may be. It could be that there could be any kind of role. Perhaps it's to help through a certain situation, or to learn something, or to just be there for one another because you just need a little extra support, even if it's not going to be say a full-on romance or something like that. Sometimes we show up for one another just to be a bit of extra support. So there's definitely some kind of, either you've known each other before, you've played, you've been in each other's lives before, and so you know each other on a soul level very well. It could be, and it could have been that in previous lives you have had that soulmate connection, you have had that romantic connection. So there's the reason why you may be feeling that, but maybe it's not meant to play out that way this time. But I would say that there, again, I'm getting the soft yes. So I think she probably, if that's the case and you do have that soul connection, she probably feels that too. Even if the situation doesn't allow it to be in the full sort of dynamic. Yeah. So, yeah. And so because of that, it may be a little difficult. Because, and this may be a little difficult to hear as well. So it may be hard because it's maybe not able to play out the way you like, even though there is actually a hard connection there. But I feel like there is a connection between you two. It's just maybe not able to play out in the ideal way. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't be, kind to one another, to be there for one another. Yeah. So I hope that helps. It's always tough with these things because it's like, when it comes to matters of the heart, we always want we always hope that it's just going to be the ideal way and everything works out. And sometimes, really, with relationships, is quite often a very powerful way in which we can help one another grow, even if we don't get the sort of comfort of getting to express or to have the experiences that we might ideally want. But I think you've probably come into each other's lives for a very meaningful reason, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you grow. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that helps. Okay. Okay. I'm glad that made some sense for you. I think doing relationship readings are kind of like the hardest ones because there's so much on the line, isn't there? So you're very welcome. Okay, so Neva, we've got your reading to do. I'm just going to look at your original comments, make sure I haven't missed anything. So you want to know the outcome of a relationship with Steve? And then, okay, so we'll put that one on the screen. So, very interesting. We're getting relationship questions this month. I'm always kind of curious what questions seem to cluster for people at certain times. All right, so I will do a reading for you. All right, yeah. So, all right. So, just out of curiosity, are you already in a relationship with Steve, or do you want to be? I'm just so that I have some context there. If you're willing to say, you don't have to say. Neighbor. Or just, okay, I'm feeling in my body a nervous energy around this already. So I don't know if that's coming from you. I could understand if it was, but I'm just feeling that in my body. So I'm just saying that. Almost shaky energy. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that I can feel when I'm supposed to stop, because I'm feeling that too. Is that... No, I'm supposed to stop there. Okay, good. It's a little hard sometimes when you're picking up another feeling really strongly at the same time. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. Wait, what's that? So I'm doing this upside down. I have to make sure I'm getting the card the right way up. Yeah, I'm getting the card the right way up. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. So you're showing up as... Okay, so you've been seeing each other for 3 years. Okay. All right. So you've been showing up. You're showing up in the reading as the 4 of... sorry, I'm getting tired. The 4 of Swords. And this is quite often about there's something hidden, like... and because it's you, I'm finding that interesting. Like, maybe you're hiding how you feel about the situation, perhaps even from yourself. I'm not sure. Let me just feel into the situation a little bit more. So Steve is showing up as the 7 of Cups. So I'm getting the feeling that there is perhaps a lot of obfuscation. Smoke and mirrors around this situation. Like maybe he's giving one impression when the situation is actually another. There might be some dysfunction there because of this, other woman that's going on. So it's causing some drama in the situation. Perhaps he's in a situation where he's a little dysfunctional because of the situation, but what I'm seeing here in terms of the atmosphere, and now the atmosphere is how it appears. It doesn't necessarily mean that's how it is, but we're getting the surrender card, which is about letting go. And it's also about endings as well, because it's the 10 of Swords. So it feels like maybe you're in a situation where you're wondering whether, you're going to make it through this, or whether this is coming to an end because there is another woman involved. Now, the underlying influence, or in the past, is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is actually almost completely opposite of this. This is like about truth and integrity. So I'm wondering if in the past in your relationship, perhaps you were able to be very open with one another, and there was or you will be able, because it's a female, perhaps the female energy in a relationship was able to be very sort of integral and open about things, and now there is some, that situation has changed. Now the outcome we're getting, and I'm going to dig further into this, but the outcome we're getting is the Eight of Wands, and this is about spiritual. This is about like our spiritual focus and attention. It can be in certain situations about spirit messages, but it's not in this case. I'm pretty sure of that. Almost like it's okay. It's just something that's coming through. I just need to give it a second. There's something about the intention, the attention that's given in the relationship, like, because it's interesting. So in regards to, so it looks like in the future you're actually going to come out of the situation, because this is about coming out of troubled water and coming into calmer water, and there may be some setbacks, but they're minor. So it's like the relationship needs some attention, and it's like it's going to start moving in a better direction. There will be some minor setbacks, so they won't last longer, but I'm going to just dig some more to see if we can get a little more information. Okay, so we got the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks like physically your relationship might become a little more healthy, get a new sense of renewal, but there will be this, because of what's happened, it's almost like there's a need to be a little cautious about the way you proceed, perhaps because of a trust, rebuilding trust and all of that. But an Ace of Pentacles is actually really, really positive. So it could be over the course of this next year, you're going to get a shift that takes you in a more positive direction, and you may have to rebuild the trust and proceed with caution and see how things pan out. Let's just do two more. Okay. So with the Two of Wands, this is like looking at something from like the 40,000 view, like looking at the big picture from a distance about perhaps what it is that's been missing in the relationship, or where there's been an issue that maybe triggered this whole thing to begin with. So I think maybe you're going to get to a safe space where you can examine that together and actually find out what you can do to heal that. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. I hope that helps. Yeah. So I feel like it's not like there's no major arcana here, so there's nothing set in stone. Like the last reading with the major arcana, that's very destined. So everything is like in play. So things can certainly be worked on, even though there is perhaps some stuff that's not, talked about, or some stuff that's not clear. it may be that it looks like there's potential for things to work themselves out, even though there may be a few little setbacks along the way. But if you give it attention, you should be able to get to a pace where you can start to rebuild this and work out how to move forward. Yeah, I think with this ace, it's you've got a very good chance of that. Um, yeah, yeah, and I think that your foundation was good as well. Where you started from was a good place. Something's gone a little awry, obviously, but we've it's like I think I feel the potential that something could certainly be worked on there. Yeah. Of course, with these readings, you've got to do what feels right. I mean, all readings are about what you need to hear in the moment, and moving forward. But and so you always have to listen to what's right in your heart and go with that. But from what I'm seeing and what the snapshot I'm getting right now, even though there may be a need to let this go, to let what's happened, so that you can move on in the sense of, accepting that, okay, this has happened, and then putting your attention on the relationship to see how you can work through what's happened, even though you may have to rebuild the trust and work through some things. It feels like there's potential here that you could work this out. Yeah, strong potential you could work this out and have a fresh start. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, I hope that helps, Neva. Oh, it's always very nerve-wracking doing relationship readings. All right. So if anyone else has a request, then pop it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. There we go. So just shuffle that through. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm glad that helped, Neva. Yeah. I'm glad that helped. So take care and good luck with it. Good luck with both of you with it, because I know these things they take a lot, of work, relationships, but yeah. There's a reason why we have them. So yeah. Oh, hey Meg. Oh, your name is Samia. Okay. When will you settle abroad with your husband? Okay, that's an interesting question. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you, Samia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Just need to get some water. I've been talking for over 2 hours, so. All right. So when will you settle abroad with your husband? Okay. Now, I'm just going to say first off that the cards work on universal or divine timing. So it's not quite the same as earth timing, but we'll see what the cards can give us. All right. So when I saw this card, which represents you in this reading, immediately I thought, well, maybe something's about to shift in this next year. It can be, an ace can be a month, but it could be something in this next year. There's something that's coming to an end that's been really hard. I don't know if that's with your partner or your just situation in general. But whatever that might be, that's it's definitely sort of at the end now. So there is the atmosphere right now is like of so this card is about sort of independence and sovereignty. So I'm feeling like are you settling? Is this like are you just moving, or is this like maybe like you're retiring abroad or something like that, or starting something new abroad? Because I'm just wondering because for example, like I know some people take their pension and go abroad or something like that. I don't know if I'm reading that right or something like that, but yeah. So I'm also getting the sense that maybe this is something you've been focused on for quite a while. Perhaps something that you've wanted to manifest for quite some time. And then oh, thank you. So as for timing, now when the page came down, so sometimes you can use court cards for timing, and the Page of Swords is an early air sign, and so that would be Gemini, which is, you know, May, June, end of May, June kind of time. So I'm wondering if there's something about that time, but it may be that around that time there's going to be something that sort of like unexpected that's perhaps going to cause a bit of a setback or a bit of a delay. But again, you know, these cards tend to work out over a year, but it's almost like let me just, I don't know, I'm just going to pull two cards to get a little more information on what that tower's about. This card has shown up so much today. Queen of Wands. Okay, so what am I feeling? Are you both like 100% in on this? Because I'm wondering if the one of you has still got something. Either there's a doubt about it, or there's something missing, like something needs to happen before they're ready. I'm just curious, because it's almost like there might be some minor dispute about this process, not a big one, but it may come as a surprise to one of you. Perhaps it's going to be something that comes out in the conversations, or it could be something that happens to you that's totally beyond your control, that kind of then sort of throws a spanner in the works. Because it feels like right now, like you're almost ready for this to start unfolding. Like this could be a time for this to unfold, but maybe something's about to happen sort of May, June time that's just like yeah, that's gonna maybe throw a spanner in the works. Let me just dig a couple more. Yeah, there's something not obvious now that may require you to just be a little careful moving forward. And I'm not necessarily saying that's something about your partner. It could be something world, because I'm kind of getting a feeling of this tower that maybe there's something that's about to happen, like that's bigger than your relationship, something more in the world situation that affects you, and it kind of throws you back a little bit, like puts your plans back a little bit. Yeah. He has some immigration issues. Oh, I wonder if that has something to do with it. Actually, my husband was in Italy from Australia, so he came just for 2 months. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we've got some dysfunction here. So I'm wondering if the immigration, there's something going on with the immigration that what's the word I want to use? There's making it sort of like, when you have to jump through hoops and red tapes and stuff like that, is making it difficult for you. And it's like you're going to have to navigate it carefully to get the outcome that you want. Let me just see any more information on this. Yeah. Okay. So again, we've got the coming out of troubled water card. So you will get through it, and then it's going to get the attention it needs. I'm just curious, because when we get the same cards cropping up and up again from the main collective reading, it makes me feel like there's something perhaps connected going on. So I'm wondering if some of the themes from the bigger reading that I did is actually going to affect you in some way. Because sometimes that's why they keep cropping up, because it's like the same energy. This is how the energy is going to impact you slightly this month, or in the coming couple of months, perhaps in your case. Yeah. But I still feel like the way it's sitting now, there's something more wants to come. Yeah, okay, so you're going to get free of that. Oh, hi, Miles. I'll have a look at your comment in just a second. Okay, just give me a moment. What does it feel like? Do I want to take an oracle card? Yeah, I'm going to take an oracle card. I don't often do this, but sometimes just a little bit of a different kind of input helps. Okay. Just see what it has to say on the situation. It may not give you a win. I'm not sure the cards want to really give you 100% a win yet. Sometimes they'll just tell you what you need to know. I do think it feels like it's going to get resolved, but it's like it's not really 100% sure. I mean, could be we're talking end of May, beginning of June, something resolves itself. That's still a possibility, but I just feel like I want to just pick one more oracle card, because it feels like there's a lot going on here. Okay. and it'll have a different kind of approach to it. You sure? Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So we get a Gemini card here again, which is what I was getting for this card. I think, and interesting, speak your world into being. So I think it's going to be positive. It's going to be important for you to speak as if this is going to get resolved. But yeah, I'm feeling like this feels like you're probably going to see some kind of shift in this situation in maybe end of May, beginning of June, because that's the Gemini season. So we're talking about in a month, which is interesting because that's also a month. So in a month time, I think you're going to see potentially some shift in the situation, which will get you a little closer to where you, or at least take you out of troubled water towards where you're wanting to go. I think that's the best that I can. Yeah, I think that was a good confirmation. So that would be my reading in terms of this snapshot right now, where things are sitting right now. Obviously, things shift in the future, and there may be something. There may be something that's so with the Tower. It can be about stuff. It could be about shocking revelations. So something. It could be that maybe there's something that a bit of a setback that is totally unexpected. Like maybe some other hoop you have to go through or something. As to why it's going to be end of May, beginning of June, based on how things are looking right now. So it feels like there's something about the situation that's difficult, that may not be smooth sailing all the way, but you're going to get out of it. You're gonna move through it one way or another. And I think something important in this situation is going to shift in Gemini season. So yeah, I hope that helps. All right, I'm just gonna put these cards away, and then I will look at your comment. So what was that, Miles? Okay, thanks, May. Oh, actually, sorry, it was. What was your name again? You said it was Samia. So thank you. You're welcome. I hope that helps, and I hope the situation resolves itself. So, hi, Miles. So you're from North Wales. Oh, who are the spirits? Okay, so very different question. Okay, so I'll just pop that one up. And I just want to say, it's so lovely to see all these new people here. And you're very welcome. I'm doing this once a month, although I do weekly readings, just for, pre-recorded, for everybody. But, and I'll tell more about that at the end, actually. But it's really great to see new names, new faces, and actually, getting people asking me full-on questions rather than general readings. Although I'm totally happy doing general readings, but it's nice to see people coming forward with stuff like this. So okay, let me just read the question again. So you've been told that you're missing the signs from spirit, but you don't see them. Who are the spirits? Okay, so who is sending you these signs? Okay. Okay. So this is Miles. I think I'm going to have to make this the last one because I've been doing this for 2.5 hours and I'm starting to feel a bit tired. But to everybody else who hasn't had a chance to get a reading, there'll be one next month. And I also do readings, but I am going to be traveling next month. So, all right. Anyway, so who are the spirits? Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to need a minute on this. You know, I'm going to dig deeper, but I have a feeling sometimes Spirit doesn't want to say. Or answer that specific question, but let me just see if I can get some more information that might. Wait a minute. It's a younger energy, younger than you, perhaps. I don't know if you have someone that's passed who was younger than you or younger than you are now when they passed. But let me just let me. Oh, okay. What am I feeling now? I'm definitely, yeah. I'm picking up something. I can feel something, but I feel that this is. Yeah, this is definitely being kept from you for a reason right now. We've got 3 cards about secrets, hidden, blocked energy, smoke and mirrors. I think Spirit doesn't necessarily want you to know the direct source yet. It does feel like it could be potentially a younger energy, but I'm just trying to understand why I'm feeling this. I'm I'm feeling this. It's almost like when I'm feeling like tension releasing from the body, I start to feel almost pins and needles. I haven't quite got it yet, but it's almost like on the edge. Maybe it would be. I'm not sure if it necessarily be. Maybe it'd be a bit sad for you to know who it is coming from. Or I'm gonna use the pendulum. I haven't actually used the pendulum on the live stream yet. I'm just gonna ask, how should I word this? Is it no, let me just think, sorry. It's important to get the wording right. Wow, how do you word this? I basically want to ask, is it not time for, yeah, I guess is but I don't want to ask a negative. So it's like I want to kind of ask, is it not time for you to know yet? But I'm trying to see, I know what I could ask. We find out who it is in the future who is sending you messages, but then that's assuming that he can't find out now. See, it's really important to get the question right. Wonder if the oracle card would tell me. Let me do an oracle card first. I think, is it spirit animal? What's it, moonology? It's moonology. Okay. So it might just help me. I'm pretty sure spirit doesn't want you to know, but I just want to see. I just want to see if we can get a why. Or what we might expect. Just a little more information on the situation. I just got, it might be a bit hard for you to know right now. Okay, let's just find out. Full moon Scorpio, breathe through the tension. I've never had that one before. That's really interesting. So what does that card bring for me? Full moon in Scorpio. Yeah. So Scorpio can be a sort of dark night of the soul kind of card. I think you're on a journey to find this out. I don't think it's quite time yet. It's almost like I think what you need to do is hold a space where you're open to start receiving signs. And then maybe when you start noticing little things, then the who and the where will maybe start to come forward. I feel like it's almost like you're in a place where maybe you're undecided about it, and you're not certain what is a sign perhaps or what isn't. So there's maybe a lack of trust in your ability to discern that, or even a lack of trust in spirit. I'm not sure which situation is there. I do definitely feel like there is spiritual energy here, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune and we've got the High Priestess, which is a very incredibly spiritual card. And quite often, I will sometimes in a certain situation read this as a kind of like an oracle card, in the sense, not as in these oracle cards, but a card that talks about the oracle ability to read things, right? But there is something blocked here. There's something hidden, and this can be about secrets in the future yet to be revealed. And yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything more I can tell you. I think okay. So the atmosphere here is this card. So it's almost like I think you'll be maybe cautious about reading into things. Maybe it's a bit hard for you to, or even that you maybe overanalyze or over it's maybe hard for you to discern, like maybe you read too much into some things and not enough into others and stuff like that. So I think it's a bit hard for you to maybe pick out the signals that you're getting, and just from breathe through it. So okay, so now I'm just getting, because one of the messages that I got, for example, is to just take a moment and feel things more, sometimes with the card. And I just got reminded of that again. So I think maybe this tension of not knowing if something is a sign or not, maybe you just need to take a breath and just feel the situation. Because Scorpio is a water card, so this is about feelings and emotions and the heart. So maybe you need to get more into your heart, and yeah, okay, no, there's something else. We do have a lot of cups here. We've got the spirit card, so it's hard. Then there's the physical cards. I think the best I can say to you right now is that it's going to come. It's just maybe going to take some time. And I think what you need to do is maybe be just curious. I wonder if this means this. I wonder if the other thing you can do is actually ask spirit for confirmation. So you can actually say, I would really like a sign about this. If I'm right about this, please give me a sign about it, and then ask for it to be like glaringly obvious, as obvious and as clear as you can get. This might actually be about developing your relationship with spirit, so that you can ask for spirit to communicate to you in a way that you can actually get. We could do that. We can say, look, I'm not getting the message. I don't know what it is, and I need something that's really clear. Sometimes you can say, look, if you're trying to tell me, if I, like, for example, if you're asking if for a sign on if you should do something, or if it's the right move to make something, to, like, for example, if you're choosing to buy something and you're not sure which one to get, or whatever the case may be, to ask for a sign and makes it absolutely glaringly obvious to you in a way that stands out for you. So I'm feeling like it may be about trying to find a way to develop the relationship with spirit that works for you, so that the sign is obvious for you, because it can come in so many different ways. And if you don't trust a particular form, then it's very hard for the information to make its way through. You can feel really blocked. So, but I'm not getting a sense of who this could be beyond. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no, I think it's almost like you need to get a bit further down the road, for that to maybe start to become clear. And sometimes it's not a specific spirit. It could be the Great Spirit. It could be the universe. It could be, but I think if this was like a familial connection, there are other cards that could have shown up, not necessarily, but other cards that could have shown up. So yeah, I feel like it's almost like you're at a stage where you need to build that relationship a little bit more, and figure out what would be something that would work for you. Because it's like, for me, it's like, I know I have developed a language of spirit. So it's like, I know if I see a certain number, that means something to me. In the same way that in a dream, you might have a certain symbol and two people have the same dream, but they mean very different things because they have a personal meaning with it. So it's almost like you need to build the language between you. So you might want to say, look, if I should, you can even start with, if you're there, could you please show me a sign in this way, or using this form, or having the same word come to me unexpectedly multiple times in a short period, or something like that, whatever works for you, because it just feels like it's like you haven't got a common language yet, and you're learning to find a way to speak to one another. And I think once that relationship starts to build, maybe the connection is going to be better. That if there is, like, who is it, if that information is relevant, then that might be able to start to come through. I hope that makes sense, because it wasn't very clear at the beginning, and so I think the reading was a little muddled because the situation is a little stuck in that regard. But I hope that helps. And you're also welcome to come back in a little while and ask again, or if you've got more clarity on the situation, ask another question but related to it. Because sometimes these things take a little time to unfold. Yeah. So I hope that helps. All right. Well, I think I'm going to close the live stream here. It's been really wonderful talking to all of you and meeting you all and doing these readings for you. So just a couple things. If you're interested in the weekly readings, I have had a technical issue this week, which I'll get into, but you can see them right now. They are on my Rumble. Where is my Rumble? There it is. So you can go to this bit.ly link, and I'll just make that bigger. And that way you can go to my Rumble channel. It's where I'm doing my weekly readings. Now, Rumble today just would not encode my video. I do them weekly on a Tuesday. And because of that, I'm thinking of also uploading them to YouTube, but I've got to think about it and all of that. If they haven't uploaded by the time I wake up tomorrow, then I'm probably just going to put it on YouTube as well. So you'll find this week's weekly reading for the collective. And that's just one oracle card and a couple of tarot cards. But I'll do that every week. And then I'll do this live stream every month. Except for next month, I'm traveling, so I won't be doing the weekly readings. I'm trying to organize a live stream sometime during May, but it won't be on a Tuesday because of all the other engagements that I have. And if I'm lucky, I'll have a special guest, but I'm not sure of that yet. So yeah, but otherwise, that is how things work around here. And let me just see if there's anything else I should mention. So my website is Choose to Play Big, and that's where you can find out about the schedule for the shows and other things that I do, and You can also book readings there, but I don't think I've changed my availability for being away from May yet, so don't book anything in May if they're if they're available. And I think that might be it. Did I want to mention? Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for showing up and for watching. And if you're watching on a replay, for checking it out after the fact. And I look forward to doing another live stream for you very soon. All right. So take care, everybody. Bye.